All right, we should be live. Let me just make sure everything's coming through feed-wise.
Sure.
Second. Started. All right, awesome. We are live. So I'm very happy today to have Sofya here from RedTrack, who is our attribution partner for AdLeaks. On today's live one-on-one, today we're going to be covering something obviously, that's been a big topic in many, many years. I think it's still growing. A lot of people are still adopting it. Platforms are changing. It's getting harder to really understand customer and user journeys. And great little presentation that Sofya put together here that we're going to deep dive into attribution. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat or send them directly to me. So Sofya, if you want to just give maybe like a quick introduction,
Yeah, sure.
your role at RedTrack, and then we'll dive in and hit the ground running.
Yep. Hi, everyone. My name is Sofya, and thanks, Justin, for introduction. I work as a product manager at RedTrack, and today we'll cover the multi-channel attribution because it's a hot topic, and we will discuss why attribution is important. We will discuss different attribution models, and we will take a look at our attribution modeling report and discuss some use cases. So I guess I can start. I'll share my screen because I have a little presentation for everyone. So just give me a minute. And let me know if you see it.
I do see it, yes.
Cool. So this is an introduction slide. You see my face again and my position at RedTrack. And let's start with the first topic that we have for today is why attribution is actually important. And you probably all know that buyer's journey is not a straight line usually because people can have many stops before making a purchase. They have a different social media pages, ads, email campaigns, and more. So usually it's a zigzag route. And this route is something that makes the data analysis process tricky. And in this case, when we are talking about e-commerce and attribution, guesswork isn't an option if you don't want to drain your resources. Because without clear data, you may waste budget on ineffective channels. And solution here would be to use a combination of e-com attribution models with the specialized tracking tools and pinpoint which channel or campaigns are driving conversions. And I'll tell you more about all of that on this webinar. So let's proceed. And the first, one of the most important things here to cover is different attribution models, because by selecting various attribution models, you gain strategic insights into how users actually interact with your marketing campaigns. So we'll start with the first model, which is first touch. And this first touch model is basically depends on the first interaction, and it's best for evaluating top of funnel campaigns if we are talking about first touch. If we are talking about first touch paid only, it's best for assessing the effectiveness of paid ads in starting user journeys. And I'll add a little more here that if there were a better name for the first interaction attribution, it would be the actually, it's like a spark that started it all. So it's the very first interaction a customer has with your brand, and it receives the entire credit, no matter how many ads he will see later on. So I have a little example here. Let's say someone is searching for running shoes. They see a Facebook ad, see a wonderful pair, that grab their attention, but they're not sure if they actually want to buy it now. Maybe they need some time to think about it, etc. Then a couple of days later, they check some reviews, visit the website again, then receive an email about a discount code that they would like to use. And actually, after all this journey, they buy the pair of shoes. In this scenario, in first touch attribution model, the first interaction takes credit. So the conversion in this case, the purchase will be attributed to Facebook, as it was a first source of click, actually, first interaction with the user. Next models that I'd like to discuss are last touch and last touch paid only. The idea here is that last interaction takes credit. So with the last touch, we are talking about any last touch interaction, either paid or organic. If we are talking about last touch paid only, it's only paid, last paid interaction. And the last touch is best for understanding which touch point closes the sale. Last touch paid only, best for measuring the impact of paid channels in final decision making. And here, basically, last touch is the final interaction before a purchase. And it's the main conclusive factor in this kind of e-commerce attribution. So you won't get information about what happened before. The purchase the person made will be attributed to the last touch point. So, for example, someone bought a bag from e-commerce store, and they had a lot of different ads that they interacted before making the decision, but the conversion, the actual purchase, will be attributed to the last ad from which person clicked.
A lot of the times what we'll use, obviously, first touch, just so a lot of people know, if there's people here that are more advanced versus under advanced, depending on your level. This basically takes the guesswork out of using the in-platform data as a subsidiary. So you use your in-platform data to optimize, but you're also using this on the side to optimize. And what you're able to do is when you're scaling and you're growing a lot with Facebook, Google, email, all of those platforms start to take credit. And as you see that happen, RedTrack is able to kind of deduplicate that, because every single platform is going to want to tell you that they're driving revenue and that they're clicking. No matter how long the customer journey is, most journeys anymore are not just, the one touch. So we'll use first touch a lot in, looking where to scale.
Mm-hmm.
Our last touch is really good, especially when you're getting down to, like your more middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, retention type audiences. That's where we'll use that a lot for last click to see, what actually is driving last click conversions on those more warmer audiences. And specifically more for, like your email, if you're doing a lot of chatbot automation, things of that nature, those are always going to be last touch. Obviously, and I know that probably a lot of people don't think this, but email is not really a first touch platform, right? Because they have to get in some way, even though it's kind of funny, you will see, and I've seen this with all the platforms, you still can see email will sometimes pick up a couple as first touch, just because, these platforms obviously are highly accurate, but there are, privacy things that, can cause things to get stripped. But that's kind of how we use those two in our paid media world. But I'll let you keep going. I just want to add that in.
Thanks for adding that. And we've covered first and last, and now we will move on to U-shaped. It's a model that includes it takes like 40% of the credits go to the first click, 40% of credit to the last one, and 20% split between all other clicks that happened in the middle. And it's best for balanced insights into both first and last interactions. And it's more like a position-based attribution. It acknowledges the different values each touch point has and gives the most credit to the first and the last. So the first, as we discussed before, is usually sparks awareness, and the final ones settles and closes the deal. So everything in between here is still counts, but to a lesser extent. And yeah, I can provide an example here. Like, for example, if you have a store, someone discovered your skincare product, let's say, scrolling through Facebook feed, and then later they browse through the store blog to get more insight on the beauty product and more details about how to use it. And then finally they buy it after receiving an email here about a discount or a low stock. In this case, the Facebook ad and email campaign would receive 40% of the credit, but the middle part, the blog, will receive 20% of the credit. So that's about the U-shaped. Paid only is a similar idea, but it's only for the paid clicks. And linear it's actually evenly distributes conversion revenue across all touch points. And it's best for brands that want to give equal value to every interaction that happened. It's these types of attribution, the linear ones, they play fair, at least on the surface. So every touch point in your customer journey gets the same amount of credit, whether they just took a little glance or a decisive moment. And as a result, you won't have to worry what the model favored the first interaction that sparked interest or the final push that made the buyer go for your product, because all steps receive the equal treatment. This is basically everything, all ideas about all attribution models. Justin, if you have anything to add, maybe to share from your experience.
Yeah, so U-shaped, I know there's another name for U-shaped, and I don't remember what else I've heard it. I know I'd have to look. I know it by a different name, but it's escaped me. We don't use that a lot, to be honest. We're using more first touch and linear or data driven. Linear is really good for us because, like you said, it just gives equal value. It allows you to see all even points, but I like linear paid really well as well because it allows you to see, what paid.
Yeah.
What paid ones? The one that's interesting here that I've never really used, but a lot of things actually come to mind is the U-shaped paid only. That would be, never actually really focused on to use that, but when I read this here, it would be really interesting, and I probably will do this, is go in and look at it actually, because that's going to give you even split, so you can take the percentages of your funnels and it evenly splits it, which is allow you going to actually to be able to see key insights into the journey and how, budget allocation should be. Which obviously you can uncover utilizing the different methods and switching back and forth. But from an overall full funnel approach, that really actually does sound pretty interesting to me. And I will do some more homework with that one because we don't use that one a ton.
Cool. And now let's move on to actually proven methods of analyzing data based on attribution. And we have a platform, RedTrack, that actually simplifies everything. For e-commerce, it's easy to set up. We have integrations with Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, PrestaShop. If you have a custom website, you can also integrate it with RedTrack via Google Tag Manager or CRM. And today, I'd like to show you our attribution modeling report and product reports because we are covering the attribution modeling topic. So I'd like to show more on how it looks like on RedTrack side and how our report actually works. So this is our attribution modeling tab. And before starting to share more about the report, I'd like to share what types of attribution do we have in RedTrack, because when users integrate with Shopify or WooCommerce, they add a tracking script to their website. And inside of this tracking script, you can choose either first touch or last touch or last paid. But in this report, you can actually play with the settings and select different attribution models, and we will create a report on the fly, so you will see how different attribution models work and what results they can give you. So we'll start with the first touch, and as we covered before, it includes all clicks, no matter if they are paid or non-paid ones, and all first ones. Everything that happens later on doesn't matter. So here you can see that for first touch, we have Facebook, then referrals, some social, Google organic search. This is the path, how many purchases were made, revenue, all the details. If we will switch to first touch paid only, this is all first paid clicks. So here you will see only Facebook, Google, and paid ads that are these stores using. If we will switch to last touch, only last clicks will count. And again,
What is the
yeah.
paid ads SS? Is that something that they specifically set up in their account?
Yeah, it's a name. It's a name of their traffic channel that is created in their account.
Okay.
Yep. And last touch paid only is last paid traffic channel. You can switch to U-shaped, so it's 40, 40, and 20 in the middle. U-shaped paid only paid.
So based on this, just looking at you switching, it's evidently
Yeah.
clear to me that Facebook is their
Yes.
driver.
Yes, that's
So
right.
the one thing that even though they have super high AOVs, it would be interesting on this to see their spend, because, if they're spending a lot on Google, I would almost be keen to shutting that off, because it's not driving a lot of revenue. So I could see them losing money easily on Google just by looking at this for a very short period of time if they're spending heavily.
Yeah. It's a new report, and yeah, we'll consider adding the spend here. So
Well, not saying to add it, but that's something just looking that jumped out to me. I'm not
Okay.
critiquing the report to say add it, because obviously that's
Not always a good note. Just I marked it for me.
Yep. Or have a way
Thank
you
you.
could add columns. It might even be really, really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
They could add columns, but I would definitely, based on this brand, if I was handling it, that's based off of this report, that's what jumped out to me right away. Is like, wow, they're really heavily cited on Facebook. What are they spending on the other channels? Because I highly doubt it's profitable if they're spending anything.
Yeah, it's interesting. And you can also select different conversion events, not only purchase. If you have upsells, let's say, you can also choose them. I'm not sure if we have, no, we don't. And you can select granularity, so choose a source or maybe specific ad set. You can take a look at that as well across all channels. And even add. So this is our attribution report. And then the other report that I'd like to cover is a product report, because it's new. We just released it not so long ago. So here you can see details about your products. Let's choose last 30 days and grouping by campaign, ad, set and add. And you can choose up to 5 groupings here. And as you can see, this is the report that, oh, sorry, not report. This is a product that a lot of people bought. And you can also take a look at what campaigns brought these purchases, all the details, revenue, costs, or in other words, ad spend. And you can add some columns here, because in the previous report, there is no such options, but here you can add columns. So this is our product report.
Nice.
And just a couple of things about the benefits of using different attribution models for e-commerce, because I wanted to say that it helps to understand which channels drive revenues. You can take a look at things from different perspectives, understand how customers actually buy, what is their first touch point, what is their last touch point before making a decisions. So you can actually make creative decisions that are backed by data. And some use cases, because I selected 3. So if you'd like to analyze your full marketing mix, probably the best model would be a first touch. As you also said, you're using first touch a lot, so it can help to identify which channels actually introduced users to websites, and like that you can understand the top of funnel performance and sources of initial interest. Then we have, if you'd like to know how to measure what drives conversions, it's last touch or last touch paid, and you will see which channel actually closes the deal. And if you'd like to focus on paid campaigns, you can choose first touch paid, last touch paid, or linear paid. And because all of them exclude organic or non-paid traffic, so you will see an isolated performance for your paid campaigns, actually. And that's basically everything I have for you today. So if you have any questions, or maybe Justin have something to share as well regarding this topic.
The big thing I would love to do, and I'll send you guys a message in the Slack about this, and I don't know if it's possible because obviously this is people's data, but I would love to do a live stream with a RedTrack that I can get access to and just be able to go through and do an education 101 session. If we can make that happen, I'll schedule that for like next week and just do that to give people a deeper level of insights from a media buying perspective, how they can utilize this platform, which I think would be really, really cool. The other thing is, that's really, really great about this is that you guys have a free trial, which a lot of 30 days for AdLeaks members, or any member of the ad buyers group as well, which a lot of the other platforms don't do. Can you talk a little bit about, and I know I'm putting you on the spot with this, but like pricing and how is it contractual? Like, how does that stuff work? Maybe that's not your forte there, but.
Yeah, so we have a free trial, and also we have different subscription plans based on if you're working with the e-com or if you're an affiliate in an affiliate field. So there are different tiers. If you'd like to know more, it's better to reach out to our support team. They can advise.
And it's
or
based on spend too, correct? In an instance, does it have anything to do with spend or not really for you guys?
for e-commerce, it's more about the amount of stores that you have.
Okay.
Yeah, so up to 3 or unlimited stores. And then we have options like if you have a monthly ad spend from 30K to 1 million, it's better to choose a brand because it's included in this package. If more than 1 million,
Which
easier.
honestly, if you're on Triple L, or if you're on Wicked, or if you've used any of those platforms, they're very, very expensive, which is why I love you guys so much, is because you're actually affordable. A lot of those platforms way overcharge, which you guys are not. And it's very cool, obviously, that you obviously get your rules built into this. It's kind of, your CAPI is enhanced. You don't have for an Elevar or something like that. So you kind of get an all-in-one suite for honestly a very affordable price. Because if you have Elevar, that might cost you $400, $500, $600 a month, which, is well over the $4,000 a year at the lower level. So it's very, very good from that aspect when you start combining the tools that you're able to do in one versus having separate tools. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know. Happy to give you guys a run through from a media buyer's perspective. We'll try and set that up. I think that would be very, very helpful to be able to go through that, to kind of expand upon this. So that way they just get how a more advanced marketer is using this type of attribution data to make those data-driven decisions.
Mhm.
So we'll see if we can make that happen with some of their accounts if we can. Otherwise, we'll figure something out. But if you do have any questions, any help, need any help, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help any of the members with anything that they need. And yeah, I do appreciate it. Sofya, do you have anything else to add or chime in with?
I just wanted to add that if you will have any questions during trial period, reach out to our support team because they are the best and they'll help you with all your questions because it can be difficult at first.
Yep.
And we also have a amazing knowledge base. We have a lot of detailed guides that you can use while setting up things. So keep that in mind when you will start setting up your trial.
Yep. How long does this setup usually take in terms of, is it very difficult? Some of the platforms, you need to have, is it a one-click thing and then you just change the UTMs?
It's usually it's not a one click because you need to add different elements to RedTrack first, like your brand, website, if you're talking about e-com,
Yep.
your traffic channels, create campaigns.
Yep.
Then for Shopify, we automatically create a script that you will need to paste to your to your Shopify
Yep.
and add webhooks on Shopify site. So there are some steps, but they are not a rocket science, and we have a lot of detailed explanations, as I mentioned. So it's just going by instruction one by one and setting this up. It's not so difficult, but there are some steps that you will need to do. So it's not just one-click integration.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, and that's how, I mean, that's how most of them are. One-click integration would scare me a little bit because these are systems. So it's a
Yeah.
good answer based on why I asked, which is why I was asking. So, but yeah, if you guys are interested in the trial, what's the best way for them to get this? Do they need to message somebody specifically, specific code, reach out to you?
They can, yeah, they can reach out to our support.
Just mention AdLeaks.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. I know it's late where you are, and
Thank you.
always a pleasure to visit with you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Yep, no
Justin. And
problem.
thanks, everyone.
Yep. And I'll put out some more information next week. I'm going to try and again get something set up with them so we can do a live tear through of data and how we're utilizing that to make those decisions. So stay tuned for that. All right, everyone have a great 4th of July and stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.